Welcome to Our Jewish Roots.
The quest for the temple treasures and the Ark of the Covenant. Jehovah's treasure.
Under King Solomon, Israel becomes one of the richest nations in the world. The empire grows and flourishes as it never has before, but this golden age will be short-lived. The death of King Solomon in 926 BC brings about troubled times. The kingdom is divided. Wars are fought as ruthless kings come and go. Foreign kingdoms march toward Jerusalem, burning and pillaging as they ultimately enter the gates of the holy city. It's at some point during this turbulent period that the Ark of the Covenant disappears from the pages of the Bible. In 586 BC, Jerusalem and the temple are completely destroyed by the armies of King Nebuchadnezzar. The greatest landmark of Abraham's seed becomes smoldering cinders. Now, Babylon's walls, 300 feet in height, encircle the exiled children of Israel. The smaller temple treasures, consisting of over 5,000 gold and silver vessels, have become the spoils of war. 48 years pass, and then another surprising twist of fate. The Babylonians themselves become captive to Cyrus II, king of the Persian Empire. In this decree, inscribed in cuneiform, Cyrus grants permission for all exiles in Babylon to return to their homeland. The Israelites are free to leave. They are given their temple treasures and are actually encouraged to rebuild their house of God in Jerusalem.
The return will come in stages. The first and largest group is led by Zerubbabel, who becomes the governor of this province. He lays the foundation for a rather modest temple, which pales in comparison to Solomon's. But it will eventually serve as a home for the very same looted gold and silver vessels that have been taken to Babylon.
While the Bible speaks of the temple treasures being restored to their rightful place on the Temple Mount, it says nothing about the Ark. As for the covenant, it will remain in effect, as reflected in the prayers of confession and rededication.
500 years have elapsed from the time of Zerubbabel to the time of King Herod. King Herod ruled from 37 to 4 BCE. And he built, in his period of time, one of the most magnificent structures in the world. He actually rebuilds the Second Temple. Right next to me over here are the walls, the retaining walls of that temple, and they bear the characteristics of Herodian monumental buildings. That is to say, they have margins, there's dry masonry, and they're all recessed one stone from the other.
It was said of King Herod's temple, "He who has not seen the temple of Herod has not seen a beautiful building. He who has not seen Jerusalem in its glory has not seen a beautiful city." This is the temple of Jesus' time. As in Solomon's temple, the golden artifacts and vessels will serve their place before the Levitical priests, but the Holy of Holies will be empty. The Ark has disappeared.
Our story of the Ark of the Covenant becomes even more intriguing when we next consider its mysterious whereabouts. If you'll search the internet, you'll find there are over 2.5 million items to be found related to the Ark, nearly all of them having to do with its disappearance. So, what happened to this most valuable treasure in history? Let's look at some of the theories.
Jehovah's treasure.